You won't believe what these goalkeepers did. We think of them as the last line of defense, the lonely figures between the sticks, the ones whose job it is to prevent goals. But what happens when the script gets flipped? What happens when the player you least expect becomes the hero at the other end of the pitch? We're talking about pure, unadulterated football chaos, the moments that make you jump out of your seat and scream at the telly. These are the stories of goalkeepers who defied their job description, took matters into their own hands, and sometimes their own heads, and scored some of the most memorable goals in the history of the beautiful game. From last-gasp equalizers to record-breaking milestones, these keepers didn't just make a save. They saved the day in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. They rewrote the rules and created moments of magic that will be talked about for generations. It's a testament to the fact that in football, absolutely anything can happen, and sometimes the most unlikely hero is the one wearing the gloves. These aren't just goals, they're statements. They're legends carved into the very turf of the pitch. So get ready for a deep dive into 5 of the most shocking, unbelievable, and downright legendary moments when goalkeepers turned into strikers. These stories are why we love this sport. Hey, and speaking of love, show us some. Only 1% of viewers subscribe, so smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to like and comment. Let us know which one of these moments is your favorite. Let's get into it. In Brazil, Rogério Ceni wasn't just a goalkeeper, he was a goal-scoring legend. For over 2 decades at Sao Paulo, he was an icon, a leader, and a dead ball king. Ceni scored goals most strikers dream of, nearly 100 in his career. On March 27, 2011, he curled in his 100th goal, making history. A record so outrageous it's safe to say we'll never see anything like it again. José Luis Chilavert was the bulldog, fiery, fearless, and unforgettable. He commanded his penalty area and scored goals with a thunderous left foot. A revolutionary, he proved keepers could lead, intimidate, and even score. On November 28, 1999, for Vélez Sarsfield, Chilavert did the impossible. A hat-trick, all from the penalty spot. The ultimate testament to a player who lived by his own rules. Picture this. It's May 2021, the pandemic season. Empty stadiums, and Liverpool's hopes of qualifying for the Champions League are hanging by a thread. They're drawing 1-1 against West Brom, a team already relegated. The clock is ticking into the 95th minute. It's the last chance. A final corner kick. The season, the millions of dollars in revenue, the prestige of Europe's top competition. It's all coming down to this one moment. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and for Liverpool, that meant one thing: send everyone, and I mean into the box. And that included the man in goal, the big Brazilian, Alisson Becker. Alisson wasn't known for his goal scoring. He was known for his incredible shot stopping, his calm distribution, and for being the rock at the back of Jurgen Klopp's title-winning side. He had never scored a professional goal in his life. As he sprinted the length of the pitch, it was a move born of pure desperation, a final roll of the dice. You see it happen a few times a season, a keeper jogging forward for a corner, but it almost never works. It's a symbolic gesture more than a tactical one. But as Trent Alexander-Arnold whipped the ball into the box, something magical was about to happen. The ball sailed perfectly into the 6-yard box. For a moment, time stood still, and then rising above the chaos was Alisson. He met the ball with the timing and technique of a seasoned centre-forward, glancing a perfect header into the far corner of the net. Goal. Pandemonium. The Liverpool players mobbed him. Klopp was speechless on the sideline, and Alisson himself was overcome with emotion, pointing to the heavens. It was a goal made even more poignant by the fact he had tragically lost his father just months earlier. It wasn't just a goal to win a match. It was a moment of pure cinematic emotion, a divine intervention that kept Liverpool's dream alive. Before Alisson, there was another giant of the goalkeeping world who made a habit of creating chaos in the opponent's box. Let's go back to the 90s, to the era of the dominant Manchester United, and to their colossal keeper, the Great Dane, Peter Schmeichel. Schmeichel redefined what it meant to be a modern goalkeeper. He was an intimidating physical presence, with his star jump saves and his booming roars at his legendary back four. He was a winner, a key part of the treble-winning side, and a man who simply refused to accept defeat. He was so much more than a shot stopper. He was a driving force from the back. This refusal to lose meant that if United were trailing late in a game, it wasn't uncommon to see Schmeichel charging upfield for a last-minute corner. Sir Alex Ferguson didn't just allow it, he encouraged it. He knew that Schmeichel's sheer size and aggressive nature could cause havoc for defenders. He was a magnet for the ball, a distraction, and, as he would prove, a genuine goal threat. He had actually scored a handful of goals earlier in his career in Denmark, so the instinct was there. He wasn't just going up to make up the numbers, he was going up with the genuine belief that he could make a difference. That belief paid off spectacularly in a UEFA Cup match in 1995 against Rotor Volgograd. United were trailing on aggregate late in the game and needed a goal to stay in the competition. A corner was swung in by Ryan Giggs, and amidst the frantic scramble in the box, who was there to meet it? Peter Schmeichel. He leapt into the air, connecting with a powerful header that flew into the net. Old Trafford erupted. Their goalkeeper, their Danish giant, had scored a vital equaliser. While United would ultimately go out on away goals, the moment itself was iconic. It perfectly encapsulated Schmeichel's character, a fearless leader who would do absolutely anything to help his team win. Our final goalkeeper is a man whose name, at least in English, might sound a bit funny, but his goal-scoring record was no laughing matter. I'm talking about the German keeper, Hans-Jörg Butt. For over a decade in the Bundesliga and in Europe, Butt carved out a unique niche for himself as the designated penalty taker for his clubs, including Hamburg, Bayer Leverkusen, and even the mighty Bayern Munich. It was a remarkable sight. While his team celebrated winning a penalty at one end, Butt would begin his long, lonely jog up the pitch, ready to do his duty. He was calm, composed, and incredibly reliable from the spot. What made Butt's story so incredible was not just that he scored, but he scored. This wasn't just happening in the domestic league. He did it on the biggest stage of all, the UEFA Champions League. Think about the pressure. A knockout game, the eyes of the world on you, and your goalkeeper is stepping up to take a penalty. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy that few managers would dare to employ. But Butt was so good, so consistent, that it became a legitimate tactic. He had the technique of a striker, calmly passing the ball into the corner, sending his opposite number the wrong way time and time again. In a truly bizarre and unique football stat, Butt holds the record for scoring against the same opponent in the Champions League for 3 different clubs. He scored a penalty for Hamburg against Juventus. A few years later, he did it again for Bayer Leverkusen against Juventus. And to complete the weirdest hat-trick of all time, he scored another penalty for Bayern Munich, once again against Juventus and Gianluigi Buffon. It's one of those bits of football trivia that sounds completely made up, but it's real, and it's a testament to the strange and wonderful career of Hans-Jörg Butt, the penalty-taking keeper who proved that even in the most high-pressure situations, a man in gloves can be the coolest man on the pitch. So there you have it. 5 moments of absolute madness. 5 times the guys paid to stop goals decided to score them instead. From Senni's unbelievable century to Alisson's divine header, these stories remind us why football is the greatest sport on earth. It's the unpredictability, right? It's the fact that in the 95th minute, your last hope might not be your star striker, but the guy who's been standing at the other end of the field for the whole game. It's about courage, it's about audacity, and it's about creating a moment of pure, unfiltered joy that nobody saw coming. These players weren't just goalkeepers, they were leaders who refused to let their team lose. They took responsibility when it mattered most and etched their names into history. It's one thing to make a world-class save, and we should celebrate that, but to have the guts to run the length of the pitch and put the ball in the back of the net, that's a whole different level of legendary. It challenges the very definition of what a goalkeeper is supposed to be, and that's what makes these moments so special. They broke the mold. What do you guys think? Which goal was the most shocking? Was it Chilavert's hat-trick? Schmeichel's equaliser? Let me know down in the comments, I read all of them. And hey, if you made it this far, you're one of the real ones. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more deep dives into the beautiful game. My name is Saad Tara, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.